Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo. Let me start by saying happy freaking Friday to you. No better way to start off a Loadout video than saying happy Friday. Today we're taking a look at what I am calling the Pink Mist. This is an SMR and challenge-oriented loadout. You're going to be mastering the micro-missile madness of the Sidewinder SMR while attempting to become a true gunslinger with the Wingman revolver. Of your choice, you can run the Elite or the stock. It is completely pilot preference. And speaking of pilots, let's talk about your pilot kit and loadout for the Pink Mist. We are going to be running STIM in this instance. Now, this is probably one of the most flexible loadouts I've ever done, and I'm going to give you guys a lot of secondary and tertiary, I should say, options along the way here. So STIM for me was all about feeling the need for speed, using that boost to optimize my positioning so I could pull off big flanks and get those first to fire opportunities, which I felt were at the heart of success when utilizing a weapon like the SMR, which pretty much constantly puts you at a disadvantage when going up against normal in the meta weapons. If you're someone who likes to be a little bit more stationary or finds themselves struggling with actually getting on target with this thing at high speed or in high mobility situations, or someone who just doesn't really like STIM, AWOL is a great choice as well. You could do a more stationary focused loadout that is more about letting the enemy come to you. I've tested that. I've seen people mess around with that. That seems to work just as well. It's really about finding the form factor that functions best for you here. Let's talk about that SMR though. This thing truly has the potential to be a potent potion in your arsenal of destruction, but you're gonna have to work for it, and you're gonna have to work hard for it. The travel time of the micro missiles alone is consistently deceptive, and getting a feel for how to land shots on moving targets to lead those targets is gonna take you a fortnight. Once you do find that sweet spot and you become really comfortable with that, you can pretty much reach out and touch someone at any distance and then just pink mist them with a nice clean burst. It takes time, it takes practice, but once you dial it in, it is exceptionally satisfying. Even at that point though, don't expect to run around outgunning the power of the current meta. Obviously things like the G2, the Hemlock, the Alt, pretty much every weapon on the battlefield that isn't the SMR is going to be hard to go up against, especially in a 1v1 head-on fight where you don't have some sort of first-to-fire advantage. Your best bet here is to be first to fire as often as possible. Play smart, outflank, and outthink your opponents to get that advantage. Even when it's all going well, you're going to want to consider the possibility for complete failure, especially if you manage to empty an entire mag and need to reload mid-fight. We all know how quick the time to kill is in Titanfall 2. It's a good opportunity to make use of STIM to make an escape, reload, come back into the fight, or switch to your Wingman pistol, which is something we'll talk about in just a moment, because there is one more piece of the puzzle to the SMR that makes this thing so fantastic as a primary weapon, and really the key reason that we're not running an anti-Titan weapon. The coup de grace, the icing on the cake for this thing, is its ability to shred Titans. Even in stock form, without amped weapons, you can do a staggering amount of damage for a primary to the Titans on the battlefield, especially when going for their critical shots. More importantly, it's going to let you build your Titan super fast. So this is the type of loadout that will let you shred through pilots, deal with everything going on in the field as a pilot on foot, and then when the time comes, get your Titan on the ground as quickly as possible while still dealing damage to the Titans on the battlefield without a dedicated anti-Titan weapon. For those of you who don't know, who maybe didn't play Titanfall 1, the SMR was originally an anti-Titan weapon in Titanfall 1, so it's funny to see it in this position now. What if it all goes south though, as I mentioned, and you need to reload mid-fight? There's definitely another option here. In fact, with this loadout, we've got two other options. The first is that Wingman revolver. It's powerful, it's capable, but it requires a deft hand. Practice is gonna make perfect in this case, and I strongly recommend running around doing a few pistol-only matches to get really comfortable with recoil management while stationary and mobile, not to mention just stepping up your accuracy in a variety of situations with this thing. Only then will you really benefit from running the Wingman as your plan B. I mean, if you can't shoot with it, it's gonna feel more like you're pulling out a Rubik's Cube that needs to be solved in order to kill the enemy. I mean, that's how I still kind of feel with the Wingman, I'm gonna be completely honest. Especially when playing with a controller, it's not a super easy weapon to use. But when you whip it out after, say, landing half your rounds with the SMR, and rather than reloading, pull that thing out and you headshot somebody mid-flight at like 60 kph, it feels damn good, and you feel like a true gunslinger. So even if you end up being not that great with it, give it a go just for the challenge and fun factor. Now, if everything goes wrong, including the wingman, you have one more fallback here, and it's the FIRESTAR. This has become one of my favorite sort of ninja hype tools. There's just something about flashy wall jumps comboed with the FIRESTAR to the face of your enemy that just feels so damn good. This makes it a great plan C in the right hands, and more than effective enough to drop a single target if you burn through your SMR and decide to leave your wingman at home. Of course, the FIRESTAR can be used for a lot of other utility purposes. You can use it to block narrow passageways and routes, you can land some AoE damage on a weak enemy to finish them off, or just clean up AI in modes like attrition and bounty hunt. We'll talk a little bit about my kit here, but again, this is something that is also extremely flexible. I'm running POWERCELL. It's just going to let us use STIM more often. Honestly, this is what I would recommend even if you were running AWOL. The ability to use your STIM or your AWOL more often is going to be super useful, especially when you're already at a disadvantage with something like the SMR. I'm also running low profile. This is going to really support that first to fire mentality by at least hiding the visual signature of your jump kit, and it's also going to let you be a little bit more stealthy when dealing with Titans, which is something that you're going to be doing quite often if you're in a Titan focused mode. You know, the SMR is really potent, and you'd be silly to not go after Titans when they're on the ground, so that's something to consider there. Now, I don't actually have a Titan portion for this loadout, guys. This is going to be completely up to you. I didn't really want to build the super themed loadout here. The theme was really just challenge. So honestly, if you want to continue that theme by challenging yourself, we'll pick any of the Titans that you personally find challenge you the most. So maybe that's Northstar or Scorch for you. Maybe you struggle with Legion. Just do something that's going to really push your individual skills to the test and make this loadout one big heaping pile of uber hardcore challenge mode. That's really the point of this thing. That's why, honestly, I don't have a lot of great clips for this loadout because I'm still challenged by it. 3-4 hours later, I'm still getting comfortable with the wingman with my controller setup. I'm still, you know, getting the mastery down for the SMR. It's been a really fun loadout because of its difficulty, and I didn't want to neglect that by pretending that I was ace with this thing. So hopefully you guys will pick it up, you'll have a go, and you'll have just as much fun as I've been having in trying to master the madness of this entire thing. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to spend the weekend working on that new closer, and I'll see you in the next one.